Hi everyone, my name is Chris Malillo. I'm with Remember the Theme. Today's guest is Morro. He kind of arrived on the music scene more recently. I've worked with him personally and outside of the Remember the Theme stuff. So it's going to be interesting. I'm almost 100% confident on that. So here we go with Morro. How you doing, Morro? So, how long have you been a musician for?
I would say I've been playing it on and off my entire life. I do remember specifically I was 13 years old in seventh grade when I showed an interest in the electric guitar. Well, I showed an interest in guitar because I had heard a Nirvana album, and I was like, my father was a jazz musician. One of the hardest forms of music you can play, salsa jazz. He used to say that he was good, man. He would go on. He would play with guys who were just high level musicians that had played with guys like James Brown and different bands like that. And they would just compliment him. And I don't know if I got my musical abilities from that, but I would say that like a huge influence for that was my dad. As far as like the digital stuff, it was something that I was always obsessed with. I loved the sound early on. Fear Factory remanufacture, Fear Factory demanufacture, all those things. Those were like huge sounds when I heard them. They were the ones that made your stomach just flip. I wanted to learn how to do that, and I was always too afraid to try it. And when I got into my 20s, I got away from music, and I got introduced to, a new goal, and it got me over my fears. And when that goal changed, when the tide shifted, I went towards music again, and this is where this is right now. This is it. This is what is the moment.
Now, in regards to playing the rhythm guitar, playing the lead guitar, learning music on a daily basis, I know is something you and I have talked about, like on a personal level, the importance of music theory. How is your music kind of differ from, your conventional digital composition, like you called it nowadays? The millennials is what they're calling the digital, the digital age, the machine children, so to speak, like to where everything is done digitally. They sample a drum pattern, but you're saying that you create the drum pattern, you create the velocities to the drum pattern, you match the volumes, you do the bass lines, you write the harmonies, the melodies. You're sampling, or that's kind of, is that what you're aiming towards? Is kind of not something new, not something old, but just kind of taking them, putting them together to create this wave of just absolute sureness and momentary experience is kind of what I know you and I have talked, and that's what you're definitely aiming towards.
Well, coming from the background that I did, my dad was so upset with sampled music. If he, if it was like if you played a drum beat that was 4/4, bum 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 bum, he would be. That's like stealing from the neighbor and hiding it in his truck. He would go bonkers over that stuff. So when I got into music production, I did what I thought you were supposed to do. I thought you had to make it from scratch. So they would have drum machines on a program called Ableton Live. I would use that, and just that. And I would play, man. I would just would try to create. I would just let the juices just go, man. I had was terrible. It was horrible, and I would just keep going. And I didn't have an ego about it. I'd ask my friends, "Does it sound good?" They'd say no. I'd say okay, and I'd go back to square one. And that was how the drum pattern started. You know, the bass lines were about 6 months ago. I really started applying bass lines to my music because I felt like the Doors for me is like grass is to fields. I loved the Doors. I loved the Doors. So they didn't use a bassist, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to use a bassist. Ray Manzarek, the keyboardist, he was, in my opinion, one of definitely the driving creative forces behind the music of the Doors for sure, as far as that eerie 1800s carnival piano music. But anyhow, that was kind of a drift. But I would say like the bass was too much. You know, everybody and I heard bass nectar, and I was like, I'm gonna apply some bass to my stuff. So I've been doing that since. I've been really trying to. I don't try to apply too much bass. Enough bass to make your lower back jiggle just for a second, and then something that kind of waves you in, waves you out, waves you in, waves you out. So as far as melodies and harmonies, like I feel it's essential. Like for the creative process, I have to just go with it and let the mind roam. Sometimes I get things that make no sense. Sometimes I get things that make sense to people, but it's just letting it go. If I like it, I put it on the CD. If the CD's good, I'll listen to it. If it's not, I break it. Literally, I'll set it on fire. So that's kind of the digital stuff, though, man. I was always obsessed with it. I always wanted to create digital music and combine it with like the instrument that I was learning. So,
What type of support did you get from family and friends when you were younger?
well, my mom. So my dad, he was always about my my success in music. My background's a little weird, so I can't really get too much into explaining it. But it's I think my mom, is a wonderful woman today, and I believe she wants me to be happy. As far as friends, though, they always followed the social order. They wanted to play football and basketball, and be cool and fight. And I was into some of that stuff, but I wasn't good at it. So, it was just I didn't really talk about it, man. I didn't want to share. I was too shy about music in front of people, really. That's what it was.
Give us an example of some of the groups that have inspired. Well, don't even give me an example. What are the groups that have inspired you to fulfill your goals and your passions with moving towards the next step in whatever your journey is going to be?
Well, like I said, definitely the Doors. There's so much there with those guys. What's interesting about them is they all would read the same books. Jim was like, Jim Morrison. He was antics guy for sure. But I almost wonder if that was part of the things that he read and the things that he believed. And I know a lot of the stuff that read it, they all read it. John Densmore would read it, Robert Beaver would read it, Zurich would read it. So they were all kind of on the same page. I think that's what led a lot of probably led a lot to my trying to be a solo musician because everybody has an idea. That's what's so great about it. They all have their own goals. They all have their own inspirations. And the problem, me, my ego is so huge. This is how I tried it. That's probably what led myself. I just read all the books that I want to read, and I did all the things I want to do. I can get there, I think, Pink Floyd's my other favorite band. I think Rap Attitude was what led to the demise of Roger Waters. Huge David Gilmour fan. I love Roger Waters' lyrics. Don't think he's a singer. He's a good bassist. His opera stuff. I'm not an opera person, so I really can't say I wouldn't pay to go see it. But artistically, the guy puts this, when he puts on stage, he puts on stage. When David Gilmour was lacking, Roger was lacking David. Again, I don't say it like I know. Those are my huge news about those guys. Like, a lot of people think that Pink Floyd's this big trip. And those aren't the facts. Those aren't the facts at all. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty confident those guys probably didn't really mess around too much, because the amount of music that they really like big time parties, screw ups, they wouldn't be doing those. It's some of the best art I've ever seen in music. It was in reference to the lead. That's where I think the story about Pink Floyd traveled down. The guy had a problem. He flipped the trigger. He pulled the switch of no return. Like a crazy diamond. That's what that song is about. That's the whole album. They did the art. This was it was about the that definitely artistically is definitely. When I look at it as a viewpoint of what I want to express, I would say also Aphex Twin. That guy is so weird. He's so weird. His music is so chill. And I haven't even listened to all of it. I just really started really more getting into it. One guy is ridiculous. He's been around for I don't know how long. Buckethead. That guy, like the things that he does on the guitar is ridiculous. He's so good, they won't put him on the radio because everybody else will have to sit that same. My buddy was telling me about $100. That's so So yeah, that was, and then I love Katy Perry. I love Katy Perry. Her music is so amazing. Taylor Swift, her voice, Swift's got a banging voice. And Sarah McLachlan, just kind of drift and sleep on the beach by the water. It's not too cold, and it's not too warm, it's not too blowing, but it's not blowing the sand on your body. Some of her songs, it just gives you that sense of tranquility. I think that is huge thing for me. Trying to find a sense of tranquility.
I would say that kind of leads in, slides us in down the slope, if you will, into our next question. How have art, education, and religion impacted your desire to carry the message to the tribe, if you will, with your goals and your abilities and your antics? Let us, kind of give us, the viewers, an idea on what that stuff is.
you know, art, I'd say, you know, I'm not much. I just, you know, I can't say that I'm an artist. You know, those people. They're so passionate about what they do. They suffer and they don't eat and they love it, man. They don't have anything and they love it, and because they want to reach their goal. So you know, I can't say. I mean, I understand that desire, that raw human energy to have what is in your imagination. I understand that completely, but I wouldn't consider myself an artist until I've succeeded after making those sacrifices. The education system, I do believe, is a social order. I think it's set up from early childhood, you know. I think our education system bases the idea of who is greater egotistically, who can achieve first, and whoever's last is kind of pushed to the wayside. We'll give you a system to think and feel, but in regards to the chance to find out who and what you are and what you're made of and how you can apply to the social order, it's not there, man. I mean, look at our education system in regards. I mean, it's great. It teaches people things. We got mathematics. We got history, because if we don't, we'll learn from it. It'll repeat itself. But you know, we got football. Like look at a prime example, man. And I love when people feel alive because of something. I'm a huge advocate of being alive and in the moment. But like the Cleveland Cavs, man. You know, everybody's like all in. You know, I personally know a preacher who gave me a car, right? Gave me a car for nothing. Dude, Cecily loves people. He tries to be a better man. He's moved, all of his kids are living in his house. He should be retired. All his kids are living in his house because he loves them, and they're going through the transition of life. And, you know, that stuff happens on a daily basis, and it's not looked at as all in. That's all in. That's all in. Not a game. You know, not a game. That's all in. And, that's a big, you know, we're educated to think that way. We were taught that from the rip. You know, we can only learn what we're taught. You're only as smart as the teacher. So it doesn't mean I'm gonna be contemptuous. I'm not gonna question when I'm there to learn. But there's a guy told me a saying one time that I got to improvise, adapt, and overcome, and that's exactly what I do in regards to education. I'm in the process of some things with that. And it's art. So you know, we'll find out. We'll see what's, you know, just moment to moment. It's the only way I'm gonna try to live. Really try to live. As far as religion, man, it's you know, it's one of the most brilliant. It's so hard to talk about. It definitely influences my music. I'll just say that for sure.
Do you consider yourself to be political?
I'm not a voter. I've got no business having an opinion unless I vote.
Are you religious?
I'm a man who has faith.
Okay, pretty straightforward answer. What would you like to see change? All right, that's our show for today. Our guest was Morro. Okay, all right. You guys have a great weekend. We got a couple of shows coming up. We got a festival coming up August 22nd and 23rd. We've got Little Caesars vending it. We've got free beer. We're serving all weekend. You can check us out on Facebook. It's Remember the Theme, Tribes of Alchemy. It's on our Facebook page. We keep it pretty updated regularly, but if you go to type in Remember the Theme, and look up Tribes of Alchemy, and you'll see everything. We're looking for local flow artists. We're also looking for local musicians to be able to play on the show. Send us a message. We'll let you know all the info. It's right in Litchfield. It's 20 minutes from here, maybe an hour from Cleveland. So thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great weekend.
From your sleep, no more thieves, no more deficit dreams. Hey, rest your head, rest your head in mine. Hey, rest your head, rest your head in mine. Mother to daughter is laughter to father. Grace, oh grace, where'd you go? Where'd you go, go, go? Grace is not coming